and welcome to Movie Mandates. I am Kelly,
And I am Andrew.
and this is the show where my brother and I force each other to watch a movie based on a specific monthly theme, and it is Anime Month. And in our previous episode, we watched my brother's pick, A Silent Voice, and this time we watched pick Grave of the Fireflies, which is funny because that's not what I actually wrote here. I put Graveyard of the Fireflies, but it's just Grave of the Fireflies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I said it right. I wrote it wrong. That's fine. You don't get to read this. So we watched Grave of the Fireflies, but before we talk about that movie, since I got to pick this one, it is only fair that brother gets to challenge me in a little segment we call Trivial Trivia. Take her away.
Okay. There are a couple of guidelines that filmmakers follow when making film.
Sometimes
Number, yeah, don't kill kids,
kill animals.
don't kill animals, and don't show anyone's penis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Generally speaking, if you watch a movie, you're not going to see kids die, you're not going to see the dog die, and you're not going to see a penis. Now, occasionally, some movies will, you know, throw off the yoke of guidelines and show you at least one. I was thinking about it. I honestly can't think of a movie that does the trifecta.
I
If they ever
honestly
make a
thought,
movie that kills kids, kills dogs, and shows peni, that must be a hell of a film.
fully thought that that was going to be your question. And I'm like, I was already starting. I'm like, shit, 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 shit.
Yeah, I have no idea. But there's no penises or well, there's some dead animals in so Grave of the Fireflies
Frogs.
has 2 out of 3. No dogs though, I don't think. You do see a cat running away from the firebombed village, but I
Frogs.
assume the
Some
cat
dead
is fine.
frogs.
Frogs, yeah. No dogs or cats though. But anyway, so today's trivial trivia. Name 5 movies where a child, say 15 or less, bites the dust on screen. And you don't get to name an original and its remake, and that counts as 2.
Sure, 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 sure. I'd like to say funny games.
Yeah, that's one. So
That one
you can't
has,
count the remake also,
well, that one has the,
which I would assume the kid dies in the remake too, because
yes,
it's like exactly the same movie, just in English, right?
yes. Because I honestly went there for, I'm like, is there a penis? Because the dog dies too.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, I can think of 2, but I don't think there's any wang doodles wangling
I
anywhere in
don't
the
think,
film.
I do not think so. Um, My Girl, the one with Macaulay Culkin and
The
that
bees?
girl, the bees.
Yeah, yeah, he's like 12 or something, so sure.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Bridge to Terabithia.
Who dies in that?
The girl dies in that. She
That's
swings on a rope and then she falls down dead. She like falls off the rope and hits her head, or maybe the boy does, but either way,
hmm.
one of them dies. I read the book in fourth grade.
So did I, and I must have blocked it out.
One
'Cause
of them dies. That's like the whole point of the
huh.
book.
Like I don't re wow, come to think of it, I don't remember anything other than I did read it and I didn't want to. Hmm. My
Yeah.
brain dumped everything about that book. Oh
Very,
well.
very fair. Um, The Hunger Games. Hey, there are some tiny children that get murdered.
I haven't seen him, so I'll take your word for it.
There are.
Because I mean, if you'd said something like Battle Royale, I'd say, no, those are high school kids.
Oh, it's anybody. There are some younger children and there are some older, but there are some
Oh
younger.
yeah, I did see the first Hunger Games, and there's like a 14-year-old girl or something
It's
in
like Rue is, I
Rue
think,
or something.
13. She's like 12 or 13
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
in the supposedly. She's probably played by like a 23-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's why it's confusing. Um, and then All right, now we're thinking.
Hmm.
Now we're thinking. Because I'm very much like, I can think of everyone 16 and older. I can
That's
rattle.
probably you're starting to think of slasher movie. It's like, all
Oh,
these are all 32-year-old adults playing, 16-year-old school kids or something.
yeah. I can think of all the slasher movies, and then I'm like Heathers, and then I'm like Fault in Our Stars, and these are all still, you know, older teen
Yeah, Fault in Our
angsty.
Stars, that's upper high school, right?
Yeah,
Supposed
yes,
to
yes,
be the
yes, yes,
characters
yes,
anyway.
yes.
Yeah.
So we still need younger. Nope, nope, that's still high schooly. There's there's gonna be it's, it's gonna be there. Who kills kids? When do kids die? Let's kill some children. Soundbite. There it is. Um, let's go back to Macaulay Culkin then and the good son.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. There you go. Um, yeah, that's fine. I actually, I always try to
Yeah.
do it myself, and I wrote down over a dozen. But I'm like, if you had asked me to put me on spot, I'd be like, mine's just gone blank.
That's
Um,
because you love it when kids die. I'm joking.
well, I some of my favorites are Chuck Russell's remake of The Blob. Because the kid in that's like 13, and he doesn't just they're in the sewer. Shawnee Smith and the two kids are in the sewer, and they're going up the ladder, and one of the kids yanks off the ladder into the water and disappears under the surface. And you're like, oh, I guess that kid's gone. And then he reappears, and he's all melting and stuff. And it's like, oh, Jesus.
How old is the son in the mist?
That's one too. He's got to be like 12 or something.
Yeah,
Pretty young.
that's a hard one.
Yeah. But yeah, that kid's death in the Blob is that's a heck of a one. There's also my favorite Halloween movie, Halloween 3, Season of the
Oh,
Witch,
with the
with the
pumpkin.
masks that dissolve the kids' heads into bugs. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yep, yep.
Then you have the little girl who gets the wrong flavor of ice cream in Assault on Precinct 13, and she gets shot in the chest. It just comes out of nowhere. She's like, Mister, you gave me the wrong flavor of ice cream. Bam! It just it's like, oh jeez. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
let's see. I actually wrote down funny games. Um, I wrote down The Mist too. Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh shoot,
She
yes.
might be, I think she's supposed to be like maybe four. She might be cutting the line
14,
14 or so,
14, but it's right at that cutoff,
but
but yeah.
some good ones. We've got some Stephen King stuff like It. Little Georgie at the beginning.
Oh, and then Pet
Pet
Cemetery.
Cemetery. What is it?
Oh yeah.
What's the uh
Char Charlie, right? No.
no, I'll know it when I hear it. It's a weird Gage.
Gabe.
Little
Oh,
Gage.
speaking of Charlie, Hereditary. The girl,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah. Uh it doesn't that actor is in the Quiet Place with the sound monsters and the little kid get killed in that too.
yeah, at the very
Is
beginning
that
of
the
the
name of the
movie,
movie,
the
Quiet
little
Place?
boy, Quiet Place, yeah, with
Yeah.
John Krasinski and
Yeah, isn't he
yeah,
playing with like a little robot or something? And yeah.
yeah. And the
Um
sound comes and Deadsky.
Jaws, the little Kittner kid gets that.
Oh yeah, with like the oldest mother alive for
Yeah.
some reason. She like had a 9-year-old, like she had a son in her 70s.
Uh,
Wow.
well,
Yeah,
yeah. Let's see, what else do we have? We need to talk about Kevin.
we do need to talk.
Yeah. Oh, Alligator. The kid who gets pushed, they're playing around and they're like, we're gonna make you walk the plank of the diving board into the pool. And they put him on the diving board, they're about to push him in, they turn on the lights in the pool, and the alligator's just in there. Ah! It's like, okay. And then of course going back to very old Frankenstein. The monster's
I've
playing patty cake or
oh
with the kid on the shore and just chucks her into the lake and she drowns.
yep, yep, yep. That's right.
Yeah.
I was like, you need to explain that one to me. Yep, 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 yep.
So yeah, lots of kids do. It's one of those rules. You don't kill kids in movies. You don't kill dogs, and no one wants to see a penis.
No, they're just utilitarian.
Yeah, they're weird looking.
Awkward. Have you seen um Grave of the Fireflies? No, I'm joking.
Yesterday, in fact, yeah,
Have you
yeah, I have it
seen
on DVD.
Fantastic. Have you seen Squid Game, the second season? Yet.
Not yet, no.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. It relates back to this.
Okay.
Uh, I'll tell you why. I'm I'm very wise, you see.
Yes. Okay.
I watched Grave of the
Humble
Fireflies.
too, I'm sure.
No, oh no, this I'm about to make fun of myself and very I'm about to make fun of myself. Um, I watched it twice, and I'll tell you why I watched it twice. So my flight was delayed by 2.5 hours. Uh, and I was like, well, I know what I'm doing.
Have 90 minutes to kill. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch Grave of the Fireflies. I downloaded it because I was like whiffy at the airport.
Mhm.
And I pushed play, and the first sentence, or the first sentence of the first dialogue, I don't know
First
why I
line of
repeated myself,
dialogue out of the
is I died
beta.
on this date. Um, um, and it was spoken in English. And I was like,
Oh,
"Brr?" I was not happy about this. And I looked at my thing and I was like, and so I go to Netflix and I'm looking and like nowhere does it say version and or anything. And I was like, oh, Netflix. Oh. I was very dismayed, but I was like, I have to watch it. Like, and then I guess brother and I are just gonna have to talk about that. I
bad
had to
English
watch it in
dub.
English dub. This is sucky because I just don't. I just know. And so I watched it. I watched the whole thing, dubbed in English, and I was like, all right, well, there's that movie. We're going to talk about it in a second. Um, and I was just so upset because I was just like, this can't possibly be like there cannot possibly they can't no, this is a no. So I went back to it the next night once I got here, and I was just like, this is not okay. So I went back to the thing and I was like messing around with it. And I went to the audio, whatever, and you have to pick to put it in the Japanese
Mhm.
and subtitles. And I was like, first off, I believe, and this is just me, that the default should be the original
Yes.
and that you
Great.
should choose to be an asshole and lazy. Um, so when I found out that I was the idiot, I was like, well, now I have to rewatch it. So I rewatched it.
Luckily it's not over 2 hours like my pick. I think it's slightly under 90 minutes.
It's like just over, but like still it is it's a 90-minute movie. So
These kids may
very
starve to death, but they starve to death fairly quickly, so
and
it's
they do. So
fine.
hopefully it's a 90-minute movie. Because I was like, well, I have to rewatch it because I need to watch the real movie.
Yeah.
And this relates back to Squid Game. How I will tell you, when I've watched both seasons,
Hmm.
and I know I've told you that the second season I'm like
Is
in
you
love with. I was
good because the
like,
marketing sucked so bad I didn't bother watching it.
I know. And I really liked the second season. Like it was really great. After I watched Grave of the Fireflies for the second time, I really enjoyed it so much more. Not that I didn't like it the first time. I liked it fine. It was watching things how they're supposed to be is important.
Agreed.
My other does not like to read while watching because he feels like he misses. So
Bastard.
when we watched season one of Squid Game, and this is to be clear,
Oh, okay.
we watched season one of Squid Game in English.
Okay.
We watched season two in Korean. And I am gaga for season two. And I now
Hmm.
wonder, is
I
it
need to go back and watch
because,
season one.
yeah, would I feel this, like, would I, like, how would I feel, like, how would I feel? Because I did very much like season one. Like, I really liked season one. How would I have felt about it if I actually saw it how it was supposed to be? And the only reason I didn't go back is because, well, that's more than a 90-minute stitch. You know what I mean? But like, so it really was an
10 hour
interesting,
long episodes or something like that.
yeah, but it was such an interesting feel to watch a movie two nights in a row, once in English, and then so much more was gathered watching it in the original language. I was like, oh, things are so much more sense is made. Like some of the just it just makes it just resonates more when you hear it how it's supposed to be delivered and how it was originally thought out. And it just really brought me back to Squid Game and how much season two resonated with me. And I was like, well, this is now really making me question.
I imagine at least part of that, but part of it I think is it isn't until relatively recently where American entertainment started taking dubs of foreign properties seriously, right? And not just
Fair,
grabbing anyone who happened to be walking outside. It's a, hey,
fair.
janitor
Okay.
Dave, come in here and voice this character, right? Um, but another thing is, I would imagine that so that this movie is,
'80s.
made in Japan. It's a historical drama about Japanese kids in Japan during a very important point in their own history. I imagine that the voice director for the film is some Japanese person. I
Yeah.
imagine the voice director for the American dub probably an American,
Yeah.
probably not a Japanese American, and probably not an American who majors or minors in Japanese history. Probably just someone who's a voice director.
Yeah.
And they're probably a fine voice director, but
It was fine.
there's a difference there.
Yeah.
It's going to mean something different to these two different people. And I think that could lend to um, affecting the performances in profound ways.
And it does. And it really is interesting. And especially for a movie like this, which is short, it is an interesting it's interesting to watch them back to back like this. I mean, not that I'm like recommending it, but like it was an interesting experiment. In a way, it's kind of fun that I did it. But so yeah, it's uh Theta and Cisco are brother sister. She's a toddler. She's like 4 or 5,
Mhm.
and that's Cisco. And Theta is
That's
he's like 15.
yeah, 14, 15, I'd say.
Um, not
I don't think
quite
they ever
a
say what the ages are.
man,
Yeah.
not quite a man, but like almost a man. And I use man as in like, because I don't think a 16-year-old boy is a man, but like in wartime,
Post-pubescent boy.
they would consider 16 a man enough to go do something. So he's on the precipice
Right.
of something, but he is still in school age. Um, but also he was working at like a factory or something. Both the school and the factory burned down. Um, so he has nowhere to go. Their parents, with their father is a naval officer, so he's off. You find out much later that the fleet was their mother passes in an air raid, uh, and then they go to live with a distant aunt who they don't really know that well.
I'm wondering exactly what a distant aunt means. I wonder what that relate. I would assume that means it's not their mom's sister, or their father's sister. It's like mom's third
Probably
cousin or something that they just call Aunt Susan or whatever.
more like, yeah, like I would think like a cousin, like someone like, and I'm like, we know Ines though, but like back in the day, like an Annabelle or an Ine, like someone like that, like they are family, but we know of them, we know who they are. It's not like we didn't know them, but they're there.
Wait, how are you related to me? Oh, well, it's your grandfather's cousin's nephew or some shit. I don't.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we've met, we know them, but like it's and I guess we know who I'm talking about, but better than that. It's yeah, probably
Yeah.
like their mom's aunt or their mom's second cousin or something strange like that. But anyways, um, so she takes them in, uh, and it is a bit of a household that is both of the children are like, we don't want to be here, and they leave and go live in a cave. Uh, and bye. There you go. That's the story.
And then
That's
they
the
starve to
movie.
death and die.
And
Well,
then they starve to death and die.
starve to death,
But so starting at the beginning, so
which is
that's
what you
kind
die is what you do when you starve to death.
of
I starved to death. Then I died.
then I
I
died,
told everybody the date of my death, which not a lot of
which is
dead people
great.
can accomplish.
No, no, that's really true. That is true. Well done, dude.
Hmm.
Um, uh, so I will say, a few things about the movie that I didn't, not that I didn't like, but that I was like, interesting choice. Okay. I wish they would have done a bit of a different way, but whatever. They needed to get to the kids' story. Like they needed to get to the kids living on their own because it was their story and their relationship, and it was really beautiful. And backing up, and I know I say her name wrong, Cisco is what I say, which is a phone system, and I know that's wrong.
Let's go.
Set, okay,
Se,
Setsko,
three syllables. Se, su, ko. That
Susko,
TSU, su,
Setsuko,
se, su, ko. Setsuko.
Setsuko. Okay.
Not an
The little
easy
girl.
one for English.
Yeah. She was so well rounded. Like
One
this
of the
little,
most believable toddlers I've seen,
yes,
particularly in animated film.
yes. She was so believable in her, like, some of the things that she did in her movements, in her mannerisms. Like there were some very like the tears and stuff, very anime stuff. There were some very like
Exaggerated, sure.
exaggerated tantrumings, and they were very there were some things that I'm like, okay, but like
Seta, of course,
she is
he
very
also does the animated, the
yes, yes,
overacting crying face, but it's
yes.
animation, so.
But she, you know, I I I was blown away by the character of her, of this little toddler girl, the way she ran, the way her face like lit up when she saw things she liked, the way that like she shook, like they had a little the fruit drops can when he put the
Yep,
water in it and he started shaking it. She's like, no. And then like
let
she would
me.
shake it like yeah, and she's like, it's so much slower and more deliberate. And it was
Yeah,
a
he's
very
just shaking it like this, and she's like,
Yeah, and but like, and then she has like her little coin purse, and she's like, "Here's all my treasures," and it's like a marble and a
Well,
rock, and
yeah.
like, to be clear, yep, that's what's important to get. Like, this is my treasure of a rock, and you're like, great. I'm so happy that you're
I
keeping
mean, she
this.
had like three coins in there.
She did. She was rich. And then the way she holds the ring, and I love how they're eating, and I can't do it right now because but like, how they sit on their legs and eat, and then he's like, you can relax, and she just kind of like leans off to the side. Like everything about her is just absolutely adorable. And I,
She also like fists her chopsticks. She doesn't hold them
right, right,
correct. She doesn't have the dexterity to do it, so she kind of
right.
holds both of them in her fists and like scoops with them.
Yeah, yeah. So everything is, yeah, I was really like, huh, that is a very realistic child. I just was very thinking about that. So no,
It's
the
like the
thing
creators of the film had seen children at some point.
that's not always true.
I look at a lot of anime. I watch a lot of anime, and a lot of time, and a lot of anime is apparently written and drawn by very horny men who I can only imagine have never seen women before. And I'm
Correct.
like, that's not what that looks like.
Oh
Have you
no.
never seen women before? Like, you do have access to the internet. You could just Google boobs if you don't know what they look like or how they move. There's lots of reference material for you online now, man. There's no excuse for this.
Dude, you can even open a private browser. I mean, it's not
Incognito
private.
is your friend.
Oh, yeah. You as your friend. But like, so when the movie starts though, there's an air raid, right? And they're getting ready to go to the shelter. The first thing that happens is the mother's like, babe, like little girl and boy, he's burying the things in the backyard for safekeeping, which I'm like, good for you. Um, and she's like, well, I'm going off to the shelter. I'll see you guys there. Don't forget to bring your sister. And I'm just like, why aren't you all going together? Because literally they're right behind her. Like they leave 3 minutes later. And I'm just like, all right, mom, are you not gonna wait for your 4/5-year-old little girl and 14/15-year-old little boy? Like, you're just gonna be like, I'm off to the shelter. Thanks for burying that in the
I'll
backyard.
save
I'll
you a
see you.
spot.
I'll save you a spot there. And then, I mean, she gets hit. Like, so I know that they had to separate,
Hmm.
but like, there should have been.
It did seem a little, maybe a cultural thing, I don't know, but it did seem a little odd from our perspective that mom would just, all right, I'm going to the shelter. You young children, make sure you actually get there because you'll die if you don't.
Make sure you get there. And the fact that they were from the perspective of how it was, there was no it wasn't like, an hour later. It was like it felt like moments later they left. So it
Yeah,
wasn't
only
as if
a handful of minutes at that.
yeah, so it's like we're 5 minutes behind you. Was there a bus that it was like, oh, I'm gonna take this bus that's here right now. There's another one coming in 10 minutes. Get that one. Like there was something missing for
Or I'm
me.
gonna
And
go
it
get
was
the neighbors, meet you outside.
yeah, something, but it was a very weird sort of, and I, both times I was still just like, man, that was weird. Um,
This lady would go
Again,
to Disneyland without her children if they didn't have their shoes on in time. Oh, you don't have your shoes on? All right, well, I'm going. Maybe I'll see you there if you can get there,
yeah,
being that
I'll be on
you're
Pirates of the
five.
Caribbean, so you know, but so yeah, again, they had to be separated so that mom could die.
Right.
So I get that. Um, but it was just weird, for me at the beginning. Um, there was the only other thing I'm back and forth on the aunt. I I truly I did enjoy the film. I did. It is a sad movie. I really enjoyed the relationship between the two. I that little girl, like I went off like just about how great she is. I I do enjoy how much he tried. Like even
Yeah,
though he was making so
he
many bad
fails,
decisions,
but he genuinely tries. He does everything he can do
he
to keep
makes a
them
lot.
both alive.
Yeah, and he makes a lot of bad decisions, but he's also a child.
Yeah, he
He doesn't
doesn't know.
he doesn't know. And I think the thing is that also is like there's a lot of pride because
Mhm.
people keep telling them they're like, just apologize
Go
to your
back to your
aunt
aunt, please, or you're
and
gonna
go
die.
back. Because and there is that. And but she's proud too,
Yep.
because she knows where they are and she
She
watches them
should,
leave.
yeah.
She should she because she mentions it.
She
She's like,
mentions
what?
where they are. She knows it. Oh, you're hanging out in those shelters again instead of you're old enough to help put out the fires and you're just hanging out in the. So I think
You
she
just
knows
run to
where
the
they
cave.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like, you're old enough to help out, and you always run to that cave and take shelter. Why don't you just go live there? And then when they're like, we're moving out, she's like, oh, really? And like she looks concerned, and she does kind of look concerned. And then she even tells her family, she's like, they're doing that to spite me, and all they needed to do was apologize. So like she sometimes
Yeah,
says it,
there
but she
seems to
doesn't.
be kind of a loss of face kind of a consideration going here for both characters.
Well, and it's
Yeah,
just
both of them
sad
are both the aunt and the kids are both right and both
and wrong.
wrong
Yes.
and both just not handling shit well,
Yeah.
which, a stressful time, man. I'm willing to cut them
Yeah.
all some slack because there's fire raining out of the sky on odd hours, and you live in paper houses.
That's the thing that's
Stressful
so
time.
difficult. And that's the thing that's so difficult is like, I don't disagree with her on some of the things that she has to say. Uh, there are some things that I'm like, kind of
She's
maybe
not wrong, but she goes about it poorly and
poorly.
takes it too far.
Yes. Yes. She does. She goes about it poorly. She takes it too far. She did start by taking a little bit of advantage too. So there was that at the beginning. Like I think she was kind of taking a little bit of advantage, but I do also think that it
Are
it
we talking
did.
about, basically telling him to sell mom's kimonos to get some rice and then that's what you're talking about?
When they brought home all the plums and the butter and
Right.
all of
Yeah.
this, like I think that like she basically I think took all that and used all that and which is
Well, I mean,
fine.
it's not like the
Brought it
kids didn't
for
get
her.
any. Right.
Yes, right.
But, she
Again,
was also opening up her home to kids who aren't even her niece and nephew.
yes.
They're
Yeah.
distant niece and
They're
nephew,
distant. They're distant.
right?
Um,
So, I mean, that seemed I mean, little Setsuko does bring that up. She says, "Well, that's our rice."
yes.
Of course, she's 5, but
Yeah.
her point is like, yeah, but this is my home that you're living in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they also they leave their dishes in the sink. Again, young kids.
Kids.
She walks
Uh-huh.
in and yells at him when Setsuko starts crying at night. And I get it. It's stressful, it's annoying. She's probably tired. She's starving to death because everything's rationed. You can't buy any food. This kid is crying. She lost her mom. She's hungry. She's sick. She's got a rash. Her poops hurt.
Yeah.
She's crying and she walks in the room and be quiet, you little shit. Do
Yeah.
something about your sister. It's like, what do you want me to do? Yeah,
Yeah.
But I also understand the frustration too. So it's no one is like the bad guy here. It's like she isn't the evil stepmother.
No, and that's what's so hard about it is like
Yeah.
she's not wrong. She is maybe a little like it's just so much pride and like I
Mhm.
get it because they're it's a hard thing. It's a really hard thing. And especially, when it's because I'm sure that there's a part of her as well that doesn't want to think that that's where they are. They didn't really go. They probably went to another relative's. They can't possibly, especially after time goes by. They would have come back. If they're not safe, they would have come back. They're children.
Yeah.
They can't possibly be in a cave. They would have come back. It's fine. Like so I'm sure that
Because
that
they don't like sneak out in the middle of the night. No, they pack up their shit into a cart and she's standing on the porch watching them. And she's like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "Oh, I haven't decided yet." But she does know. I agree with you. I think she's rationalizing to herself. It's like they'll if they need, I know he has access to what's left of his mom's savings. I
yeah,
know he has other family. Maybe he found them. There probably would have been ways to track them down. I don't know if a 14-year-old would know what those were. I don't the movie doesn't show that he even really tries.
right.
Um,
But
but I agree that yeah, but she watches them leave and um yeah,
she's
you
out of the
don't do
picture.
that.
But yeah, but I think it is really cute and so that's where that is and as a viewer, you so want to be like, here's there, you know, swallow it and make it work. I will say the one thing that I respected about her, the one thing, um, well, not the one thing only, but like, what, when she was making the rice balls
Yeah.
for her husband and daughter.
Well, it wasn't the husband, that was just a lodger.
Okay. The lodge the oh, okay.
Yeah.
The dude and it was the daughter though, right?
Yeah, that was her daughter, yes.
Okay.
But the
So
guy I don't think was related. He was just lodging. She was just putting him up, probably in exchange to some pittance he was getting for the work he was doing with the military. The daughter was working somewhere for the
in the
war effort.
hospital or something
Yeah,
at the
something like
hospital.
that. Yeah.
Um, so she was giving them the rice balls, and then she was telling them, no, you get rice soup because you don't contribute to the country or the war effort or whatever. She was also eating the rice soup. I respected that. I was like, okay, at least there's that. She was, she too was eating the rice soup. She wasn't eating rice balls. So I was like, at least you're not being hypocritical.
Yeah.
Um, but I
I mean,
did.
she could rationalize that as like I'm putting up the people who I'm sheltering the people who are contributing to the war.
She
So
is, but there was that
I'm
moment
also
of truth.
making all the meals and keeping the
Yeah,
house and stuff like that.
she well could have. She
Yeah.
very well could have, but it wasn't interesting. She did say if you were doing something for your country and well, whatever. I mean, and yeah, it's her home. She could have done whatever the heck she wanted.
Yeah. Now, from what
Um,
I understand, there's a live action version of this film.
are you kidding? Really?
Yeah, but my understanding is the live action one, which was made like I think it was done in like the late 90s or something.
Same
Um,
name?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's called
Okay,
Grave of the
please continue.
Fireflies. Um, my understanding is this film is uh, the central character is the aunt instead of the kids. It's focused on her rather than the kids.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'd be interested in checking that out just for the different perspective.
It's
Don't
very
know if they make
interesting.
her like a villain or antagonist or anything, or if it's just the same, just I don't know, but haven't seen it
Interesting to
though.
check out. Yeah, no, that is interesting.
Oh, and
Um,
you asked me last week, and you said if this was a Ghibli film, and it is.
it
It's just
is.
Miyazaki didn't write or direct it, but
Yes.
this was produced by Studio Ghibli, so
Yes. Yes.
same year
Um,
as My Neighbor Totoro, apparently, and made for a great double feature.
oh, you watched both of them?
No, but it would have made for a great double feature. I hope they both played at the drive-in, and I hope
Okay, go.
Totoro was first.
Um, but yeah, so I So yeah, so they live in the cave, and it's very funny to watch kids live and to see like, I mean, he's actually very industrious,
He's trying.
you know? Yeah, but like, I mean, yeah, they both die.
Yeah.
So it doesn't end super
I
well
mean,
and
it fails.
it fails, but like they're together and and I guess it's like doomed from the start, kind of in a way. They lose their parents, um,
And their
they
home and
in their
most of their
home,
possessions and stuff. Yeah.
their possessions, his school burns down, where he works burns down. They're with an aunt who's a distant relative, but like, so there's really no love. They don't have anyone, they only have each other to love.
Mhm.
And it's like,
Not
that's it.
enough.
And and as long as they have that until the very end, and they do, they have that until the very end and somehow beyond.
Yeah, I guess they're ghosts cursed to endlessly wander
Watch
Japan.
themselves and repeat.
Yeah, I that sounds kind of horrifying actually. But
Yeah, really. They're like, watch me make a mistake again.
the
Yay.
thing that I real so the thing I realized is he cashes out the this is towards the end of the film. He's cashing out the last of his mom's bank account so that he can get some food for his sister. And this is like she dies later that night, I think.
Yeah.
He's just too late. Um, he while he's at the bank, he hears that the war's over, Japan surrendered, which means which was just a thing that I realized is like he does not know about Hiroshima or Nagasaki.
Right.
It's just I don't know where I think this is in Kobe, I think they said. I don't geographically, I have no idea where that
Yeah,
is in
I don't
Japan in
either.
relationship to
I don't either.
Nagasaki or Hiroshima. But
Yeah.
that's kind of an interesting thing to think about is he had no idea that two atomic bombs were dropped on his country.
Ah, yeah. And they were like, oh my God, child. Like,
What have
it
you
was
been
such a,
living in an
you've been,
abandoned bomb shelter?
yeah, have you been
Yeah,
living under a
actually.
rock or in a cave? Well, I mean, yeah. But yeah, when
Been
I
living
was,
in an abandoned bomb shelter with a malnourished 5-year-old? Well, that's oddly
and then when
specific.
he was like, what about the Imperial fleet? And they're like, all gone, they were wiped out. And he's like, what about my dad? And they're like, whoa,
I don't
child,
know.
whoa. He's like, I don't know anything about, and I remember that moment and I was thinking like, that's got to be. So I try to think of like what I would do in that situation if like a kid was doing that because there's a part of me that like you watch these movies and I can't think of another one, but like you see a movie like this where like a child is devastated because they just realized something like this that they didn't know, like they think their dad is they just found out that a parent or something has passed or something, and they're like, what? And you would think that the adult has a little compassion because obviously that question is because they just uh, like anyone with a brain is going to realize where that question came from. Like put two and two together, that kid just realized he lost his father. But at the same time, so like, but then I put myself in that shoes, and like if someone came at me like that, I think a lot of people their first thing would be like, "Whoa, God," like there would be that defensiveness, I
Yeah.
think, a little bit at first, and even if you didn't mean it that way. Like, so that man who's like, I don't know, how am I supposed to like because it would be, but especially like, have you been living under a rock type of thing? But like it is it's such a harsh reality that like he's lost everything. He finds out in the worst, most devastating way, and there's still no one that cares about his plight. He's in the middle of a bank. He's in the middle of people who are just callously talking about, oh, now that we've surrendered and da 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 da. Oh yeah, the Imperial fleet. Yeah, man, like it's totally
I mean, they didn't know his dad was a naval guy,
they
so
didn't. But that's what I mean. No, 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 no. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. I'm
yeah.
saying like still for him in his point of view,
Mhm.
like everything it's there's nothing there's no nothing is ever sympathetic. Even when he tells the aunt that his mother died, there's not sympathy there. It's why didn't you tell me you need to write to your father? Because it's about, oh shit. I because her reaction is of, and I'm sorry, I have said a lot. It's been a couple long days, so I apologize for my language. It has been. But like the aunt's reaction when he tells her that he lost the mom is also callous in that,
A bit cold, yeah. I mean, I
well, her reaction is based on, uh-oh, I took you in thinking your mom's going to get better and take you back.
yeah.
Now I know your father's fighting a war and you don't have a mom. We need to get a
Or
hold of your
you're
dad,
stuck here.
find out who else there is that can take you in, and we need to solve the problem that is the two of you. That's what her immediate reaction is. It's not, oh my God, I am, it's, okay, what am I going to do with you two? Because now there is not an outlet. There is not an end now. I
Yeah.
need to figure out
This
the
isn't
next
a
end. Because
temporary
this,
thing, right?
yeah, this end, this one is not an option anymore. So I now define option B. Option A is gone. Now I need option B.
Mm.
So this porch, so it just continues that like, so it just hones in more about the story of these two, which so it kind of had to end this way. There's only one option for these two children, and it's together in death. No.
Yeah. I see it as, I mean, it's certainly cold, but I don't see it as callous because everyone is stuck in the same reality, you know?
Okay.
Um, like I am at, it's like, the dudes at the bank, it's like, oh, my father died. It's like, dude, everyone here knows lots of people who died.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
unique, man. I mean,
No.
you're 15 or 14 or something like that. So, but it's also got to be a hell of a culture shock for small children because when you're a children, uh, there exists people whose entire role is to make sure you're all right, provide you shelter and food. And these kids are thrust into a situation where all of that is taken from them and they don't know what to do. And how the hell would they? I did like the fact that there were few people in this movie who were outright dismissive or cruel. Most people they ran across were willing to help to an extent,
Dude,
with the understanding, like there was the one farmer guy. He's like, "Hey, can you sell some rice?" He's like, "I would, but I don't have any." Right? Which
I
is
did
like,
like the farmer.
yeah. I mean, he helped them until he couldn't. It's like, I don't have anything more. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um, he has the money, has a little bit of money. I think he said 7,000 yen, which today would be like, I don't know, $50. In 1940, or well, this would be like 1945. I have no idea what they, probably a couple $100. But money probably wouldn't do you that much good at that time. Like no one was taking cash for things. There was a lot of barter system. It's like, hey, I
Right.
could give you money. It's like, what would I do with it? There's no stores. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, 'twas a pickle. And what do you think about the decision for the film to lay its cards on the table right up front and say the kids die? So you start the movie knowing that this is a tragic end.
I mean, I think, well, because Ghost Seta is around for a lot of the film.
Mhm.
Since he's there, you have to introduce it. But if he's not there, if he wasn't, I don't know if he is necessary per se, but that's neither here nor there. Except for the fact that every time you see him, there's fireflies around, which is wonderful. He's with the fireflies now. Um, I I don't know how I feel about that, even having watched it twice. Um, because I think there's something about e- it's nice to have the warning in a way because it is like you said, you're not supposed to kill the kids or the dog. So like if you come right out and be like, by the way, this is a kid dying movie. Are you still gonna are you gonna good? You good? You still watching? Okay. Well, we let you know. So as you get attached, just remember, see Go Seta, remember he gonna die. So and where Go Seta goes, we're pretty good sure that little Sissy is gonna go too. Um, but at the same time, there's no other option for the children. Like
What
this
are they
was
going to do?
not,
Live in that little
that's the
cave for the
thing.
rest of their days?
There was not going to be an alternate ending. So it's not as if it ruins in that as you watch it, there is one conclusion. It is a sad conclusion. It is a realistic conclusion. It is the only way that these two poor souls are going to end up. So, like, it's not that it really spoils anything. So, I don't mind that it's there. I don't think it added or subtracted. It is a, like, it is a very, like, harsh opening of like the first like I said it's like on September 14th 1945 I died. You're like,
Spoilers.
thank you. Okay then, and then you realize how important fruit drops are. Although her ashes were supposed to be in that fruit drop can,
Hmm.
and when the guy threw it, it looked like teeth came out and not ashes.
Yeah, well, I mean, he might have put some of the teeth in there too. I don't know.
It
I
was
actually I'd forgotten that was ash until I was like, oh yeah, he puts the ash in the can. The stuff that spills out is some of her remains. That's right.
yeah.
Yeah, that
um
wasn't from an animation perspective. It wasn't clear what that was.
Yeah, and the way because it looked like teeth, and then because the first time I watched it, I was like, "Are those teeth?" And then the second time I watched it, I was like, "That's supposed to be ash, and it still doesn't look like ash."
Yeah.
Um,
Boy, the guy who sold him the funeral pyre stuff was disturbingly cheery.
that's another thing
Oh,
that
cremating a 4-year-old? Here you go. Make sure you burn it nice and hot. I'm like, dude, your bedside
that's
manner
another thing.
sucks.
See, and that's another thing that's so incredible about this movie as well, and that kind of goes with the whole like the juxtaposition of like everything that's happening around the kids is like the war is over and the girls, these giddy girls, like while the war, let's
Oh,
try
the
this.
rich girls who
Like, yeah,
clearly had
like,
enough money to relocate for several months
yes.
and then
But
come back when it was over.
while the war is going on, like the skies are dark.
Opportunities that the rest of the people in Kobe did
Yeah.
not have.
But like there's rain, the skies are dark, like it's kind of dreary. Like while the war is going on, the war is going on and like things aren't great. And then it's over and like people are coming back and it's beautiful and it's giddy and it's like, oh, everything's great. And his life it's over. Like
Over, yeah.
it's like his, everyone else's. um exhale, you know. But everyone else has exhaled while he has just died inside, basically. And which is just another like, the dichotomy of it's such a it's every time that good happens out here for him, it's like, the exact opposite. So I thought that that was such a I actually kind of liked that, but yeah, it was actually quite funny. He's like, if you need help with the pyre, you should do this, and a dry husk is a good husk, and I'm like, God, dude, you someone really likes fire.
You realize you're selling caskets, and that means someone died, right? And you realize you're selling really small ones, so that was a
A
small
small
child who
one.
died, right?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, maybe the guy thought, maybe the guy just hates throwing, oh, 4-year-old doll? Yeah, they're annoying, aren't they?
He's like, have you seen the Blob? Um, but yeah, yeah, very, very, very interesting. And
Uh,
then,
we're about as far away from Chuck Russell's remake of The Blob as Chuck Russell's remake of The Blob is from the end of World War II.
oh my God.
God, we're old.
Oh my God. Oh, so we were okay, this has nothing to do with anything, but I'm adding it. So we were in the meeting the other day, within the last 2 days, and Tommy Boy has turned 30. And
All right. 90, mid 90s. Yeah, okay.
one of the presenters,
A Goofy movie just turned 30 like a day or two ago.
one of the presenters uh did a one of her presentations, she had like a quote from Tommy Boy in there. And it was something like, we're going to leave our mark like Tommy Boy. And she goes, not here so much, but right here. And I was like, and she's like, happy 30th, Tommy Boy, and blah, 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 blah. And so I was just laughing. And then, of course, me and the dude sitting next to me, like, spent possibly the next 10 minutes under our breath just quoting Tommy Boy. I'm pretty sure we missed the whole next presentation because we were just quoting Tommy Boy. Across the room, my colleague, whom I work with every single day, the one who's my counterpart, she looks at me and she goes, what's Tommy Boy? And I just looked at her and I went, get out of this room right now.
How old is she?
I'm like, you need to, 25.
Oh, well, okay.
And I'm like, you need to leave right
Go
now.
back to your crib, you baby.
I'm like, get out. And so tonight she and I went out to dinner, and she goes, so what is Tommy Boy? And I was like, I swear to God. I go, do you know who Chris Farley is? And David Spade. And she goes, yes, you're gonna hate why I know them. And I'm like, why? She goes, Chris Farley was supposed to be the original Shrek. And I'm like, well, hey, at least you know who he.
Okay.
She goes, and David Spade
Christ,
was in
another
Grown Ups.
franchise that's over 20 years old.
And she goes, and David Spade was in Grown Ups. And I said, yes, he is. And she goes, wait, Chris Farley was in that Chippendales SNL sketch. And I was like, yes, you are.
With Patrick
Swayze.
Swayze. Both of them are dead.
Yes. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. So are these children. So the children. So are those
Okay,
children.
so I feel better now. So are the children.
So are the children. It's for the children.
All right.
Um, but yeah, Tommy Boy. So yeah, Grave of the Fireflies. I will say, speaking of Grave of the Fireflies, the sound that the husks of the dead fireflies make. Scooped. It's fantastic. That Foley artist, chef's kiss. Because when those boys come around and like are like, oh, is someone living here? And they're like, oh, look, this little grave, because she like pours the little
Yeah, she
carcasses
puts
into
all
the grave.
the firefly husks into it and buries them. Yeah.
Well, there's like the overflow carcasses that the boys like are like, what the heck? And they kick them, and it can't even. It's like beans. It's as if like you stick your. It's like the Whole Foods or the bulk food.
Yeah, don't stick your bare hands in those. Use the
You,
scoop.
it's like you stick the scoop in the beans and you go like that.
Right.
But like it was the greatest sound. I was like, it t twinged, and I'm like, yep, that is that is hollow. It's like because you don't, but we do in the Midwest get the cicadas,
Mhm.
and then they're just the hollow, shelly.
Yeah,
Oh, and
yeah,
that sound, that crunchy, hollow
very
death.
crunchy.
The so yes, but the Grave of the Fireflies, that she makes the little, and then the little fruit drops can with the flowers in it. That yep. I swear, and I know this is the cartoon and it was this drawn. We've had those fruit drops, but they were in a circular tin.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know
Yeah,
those
different
candies.
different tin, yeah.
I'm like, I know those candies. They were in a circular tin, but I know those candies. But anyways, so yeah, there you go. This is a good I liked it. I liked this
Yeah.
film. I liked both of
Poor
them.
kid
I
never got a chance to properly grieve his mother either. He just carried around her box of ashes throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, and like hit her. Like it was
He
such
Yeah, it wasn't until his sister mentioned that she knew because the aunt told her that I think he finally allowed the realization to hit in, even though he'd been carrying that box around the entire time.
yeah,
That's the first time I think where he really cries.
prize. Yeah. Yeah. And then because she even says they're in a grave like mommy or something like that.
You're, yeah, not. No, she's in a box and she's under the
Yeah.
table or bed or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And that box obviously just probably stayed
That's probably still in the cave. Yeah,
in the
I don't know
cave.
if he did anything. I think he said he mixed. Didn't he say he mixed some of mom's ashes and hers into the fruit tin? And I think he was carrying both just on his person because he couldn't. Yeah, he wasn't going to carry
Maybe,
the box
maybe he
around.
put both of them together.
I think he did. From
Okay.
all right.
Maybe he did because he did say he's like I put it into the tin and then I walked away and never went back. That's the last time I was in the cave. And then and then that is literally the end because you realize he just goes off to whatever station or whatever that is and
Yeah,
become
the bombs were summer, I think. So the Japan was surrendered shortly after, and he says he dies like the end of September, like September 21st or something like that.
29th or
So
yeah, something like that.
yeah, it's probably only a handful of weeks.
Yeah. And yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how quickly, well, I mean, especially when you're only like 4 or 5, like it's not gonna take long to get ill. It's,
Oh yeah.
so
It's like, he goes to the doctor. He's like, "Can't you give her a shot or medicine?" He's like, Just feed her."
yeah,
With what? He says,
I know.
Yeah.
Well, although there is that moment, it has to be a couple of months because when they get rice that one time, he says the next ration is July. So it might be June, July, August. So it might be a few months, but still. So it's probably like June, July, August, September. So it's maybe 4 months. Maybe it's the summer, something
Yeah.
like that. But either way, it's not that, in the grand scheme of life, it is not that long. And
Yeah. To answer the question I posed to you, I think it was probably a fine choice to lay out right up front that the kids die, by the way. John dies at the end of this movie. Because when the kids move out from the ants and they start their life in the cave, you almost, without that knowledge, you might start settling in for a fun Robinson Crusoe or Swiss Family Robinson
well,
kind of. The kids are gonna, have fun. It's gonna be like a fantasy thing where the kids are living their best life and living off the land and
and dad's
finding
gonna come
innovative
home.
ways to survive. And then, she gets a rash and becomes emaciated and starts shitting all over the place. And it's like, oh, this isn't fun anymore, right? If
Yeah.
if you know it's coming, there's this cloud of dread and inevitability that hangs over the entire movie, but at least you're not gobsmacked by it towards the end, right? That might
See
be,
that.
so I think it's probably a fair choice
Okay.
to
I
lead
could see
with
that.
that information. So, but yeah, this is a film that I first saw a couple decades ago. It's late 80s or something like that. It's an older film now, but one of the first Ghibli films, I think. One of the earlier ones anyway.
Yeah.
Um, as I said, I think it came out same year Totoro. I think there was one that precedes those, and I don't remember what it is. But yeah, I enjoy this film too. It's definitely not one that it's definitely not one to pull off the shelf every year at Christmas, but it's a good film, and even if you're not into watching kids slowly starve to death, it's from an artistic standpoint, like a physical drawing, it's really gorgeous.
It is. It's really beautiful. And
And
again,
like you said, I love the animated depiction of this, 4 or 5 year old toddler.
yep.
It's really fun to watch. It's like,
If she,
they do that. It's exaggerated, but they totally do that.
yeah, it is. It is really great. And you, her, something about her facial expressions, like it's captured so well. Like everything, everything she's thinking. Like they don't even get him perfect all the time, but her, you're like, I get, I get it all. We're good. Got it. I'm down.
You know what for me the roughest bit in the film is? The one that made me go, oh God, is when he's combing her hair and he just keeps combing out lice
Yeah.
and then some blood because he's scraping bits of her scalp, and it's like, oh man,
Yeah.
like he knows and he just can't admit that I'm failing here. I
Yeah.
just need to try harder. It's like, you know,
I know.
it's
And
that's where it's like, oh, this, yeah, if you didn't know because you came into the theater late, um it's boy, that's a nasty surprise if you hit traffic on the way to the theater.
when
Uh,
you miss the opening line and you're like, oh, I don't think you're gonna make it.
I think she's gonna die. Yeah, at that point you're like, oh yeah, this prospect's looking grim here.
Yeah, that ain't great. Um, yeah. So, but yeah, so there you go. Grave of Fireflies. Love it. Well, as much as you can love children's past that you have grown to really care about. But
There were
yeah,
no
so
Wangs in
that's
this movie.
who?
There were no Wangs, Wang Doodles,
No way.
Dongolas.
I thought you said something else and I was like, I'm confused. Yeah, but yeah,
Dead
so
kids, couple dead animals,
yep.
no
So
penises.
so we'll try better next time to
Yeah,
give you some
one day we'll
P&I.
hit the trifecta.
There you go. Slowly but we're always inching towards.
There's going to be some really weird porno. It's like, I mean, most of it is really sexy, but I don't know what it is. But there's like dead children and dead dogs in this movie too. It's really tonally confusing, and my genitals don't know what to think about it.
That's the new theme. And welcome to June, where your genitals don't know what to think. No, that's not what June is, but I will tell you in a moment because anime month is over, but movie mandates is not because we do continue with June. But our genitals do know what to do because June is about dun, 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 it originated on stage. Andrew, movie originated on stage that we are going to watch because you have picked it.
We are going to watch one of several filmic adaptations of a well-known play. The play is
It's the thing.
Sierra de Bergerac. Now, there are a
Okay.
lot of filmic adaptations of this play. I've seen at least three of them. I've seen there's one in the 1950s. There's one in I'm guessing like the 90s as Gerard Depardieu in it.
Gerard Depardieu,
There's of course the Steve Martin film Roxanne.
Roxanne.
And they're very I love all of them. They're really good. I've actually never seen the play though. I've never seen a
There's a new
performance. I've never
Peter
seen it
Dinklage
performed
one.
on stage.
There's the newest one with Pete Dinklage in it.
Which is the one I'm mandating we watch. It's called Cierno. That's it, just Cierno. Yeah, it
You
came
want
out
to?
like 2 or 3 years ago. It's got Peter Dinklage in it. That's what I have not seen it yet, so I mandate we watch that.
I'm so excited. I haven't seen it either. And I love him. He's great. So good.
Do you remember The Toxic Avenger? I think we watched like the first half an hour of it when we were young and we're like, we don't like this.
Yep, I remember watching the first half hour and going, "We don't like this."
Yeah. Um, one of these days, maybe I should go back and watch it, see if a more adult sensibility would endear the film to me. But Peter Dinklage plays Toxie in the remake of Toxic Avenger, which I think has made the festival rounds, but hasn't been released yet. So
Interesting.
yeah, but yeah,
Okay,
Peter
then.
Dinklage, just a hell of an actor and just great in whatever. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. He's always great. So really, I love Cyrano de Bergerac because Cyrano is just a really smart person, and smart people tend to be the funniest. You have to be smart to be funny, and
Which
the
is why I'm
characters,
so dull.
yeah. So unless they go in a really weird direction with this, it should be a really charming, fun, funny film.
Excited.
Unlike
Oh, I'm
both of the
excited.
anime movies that we watched,
Yeah, no,
which were really
absolutely.
heavy.
Absolutely. So good. All right. Well, if you also would like to watch Cyrano, check out the description and see where it is currently streaming or available to rent. And until then, you can watch us, Movie Mandates, on YouTube and see our gorgeous faces, or you can listen to it and hear our dulcet tones in podcast form on iTunes. And if you love us and you enjoy the show and want other people to love us, help us reach a wider audience. It is engagement that will do so. So, watching on YouTube, you can like, you can comment, you can subscribe, and then ring bells and rate and review on iTunes. And we thank you for that. Yeah, so I'm Kelly, and you can follow me on Insta at Pimento Olivia with the 1 O.
I'm Andrew, and you can follow me on Blue Sky at Andrew Eisen.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Movie Mandates, and we will be back very soon with another mandated movie. Bye, everyone.
Bye.